Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Billy Mitchell changed the game. He really did. He changed the game for YouTubers. He changed the game for people talking smack on the internet, right? And like it or not, it's a new world that we live in. Look at how many people are suing now, right? Let me just talk about, whoever, Elisa Mercante, CoffeeZilla. I mean, all these other lawsuits that you have going on there. And what changed is that YouTubers are being held accountable for their words. A lot of it reminds me, especially on this trial, of 300. Remember on 300, guys, when the messenger came over and told Leonidas to choose his words carefully because they may be his last as king? And what did he say? He got thrown in the well, right? You should have chosen your words carefully. And there goes Carl down the pit, right? But before we continue, let's talk about our unofficial sponsor. Please stop reminding me of King Billy. He is based and selling ungodly amounts of hot sauce at rickysauce.com with discount code CarlLost. And he posts, stop posting Billy's tweets here. Poor God Jobs, he's getting trolled on his own Discord. Right? And Billy Mitchell's asking, who he's suing next? I hope it's a joke. But if it is a joke, it wouldn't be something, as Tommy used to say, if he used Creamy Carl's cash to help Todd Rogers sue him. Because I believe he called him corrupt, right, in one of his videos, which is a legal term down in Australia, right? So that is really how the game has changed, guys. You have to be held accountable for your words now because people might sue you, right? And most likely will if you have anything of worth, right? If you have anything that they can sue you for. If you have property, you have anything to pay, and people can just do it out of just being pissed off, right? If you have enough money, you can do it. If you have the resources, you can do it. But, there's a huge difference. For example, we're talking about covering the story here. If I make videos about Carl and I talk about his outcomes in court in relations to that and how he showed a lack of knowledge of the courtroom, the courtroom etiquette or his lack of knowledge about the law, what have you. You're talking about that case in reference to that case, right? It's a very different thing when you're obsessively making videos about somebody criticizing them for being different things, especially when you're talking about legal terms, right? It's a very different thing. You have videos out there and you can just go out and look where people are calling people that they're thieves or Carl is a perfect example where he said that there was embezzlement in the Gerard's case. I believe those are the terms that he used, that there was fraud. He uses those terms a lot. And he's being held accountable for those words. It's different if you want to say Gerard, you don't like him, he's fat, he's gross, disgusting, doesn't comb his hair. Those are all, personal attributes that anybody can see, but none of that is illegal. You can clown him for all kinds of things. But when you're attacking people and saying that they've committed crimes, it's a very different thing. And before, people used to do it all the time, right? Now, especially larger YouTubers are seeing that you can be held accountable for those words. And not only for your words, but what you're doing behind the scenes other than YouTube. You could be, somebody could, sue you for doxing them, even though you're not maybe the person who's actually doxing them, but you're repeating the content that that was where the doxing happened, for example. They can also bring you into court. I mean, they can make your life miserable if they want to. If the person has enough resources, they can take you to task, like what happened to Creamy Carl. And that has really opened the eyes, not only from a lot of people that are victims, of this kind of thing, but also to the creators, where they have to choose, or you should choose your words more carefully, right? Whether it doesn't matter if it's Dark Side Phil or Review Tech USA or what have you, you have to keep it in the context of entertainment, basically. And if you're a larger channel, you're going to be under more scrutiny, right? If you have millions of subscribers, what you say goes out to a lot more people. So it's even more important that you cross every T and dot every I and have things reviewed. You're making a lot of money, and what ends up happening is these YouTubers blow up overnight. They have great reaches, and it's still, free for all. They're still acting like they had 100 subscribers or 200 subscribers. And this never-ending arms race that people go in for attention, you have to say more and more outrageous things. And that's really the crux of it, right? If somebody's getting more views than you because they're saying something more outrageous, you're going to try to do the same thing to emulate them, as a larger YouTuber, because you want to stay relevant and you want to stay in the algorithm. But if what that other person is saying is libel, should you go there? No, you should not. Absolutely, you should not. But some people don't care. Some people want the views, and they'll take the chance. And hopefully the person that they're criticizing is not as big. But now when you have, bigger YouTubers going at each other, you can see this is going to happen more, because what this trial has done, it has broken down the responsibilities that you have as a person making statements, on the internet that could be considered defamatory, right? And now people know, they don't hold the belief that Carl used to hold, that, well, if what they did over here is bad, I can say everything about them over here. Right? So if a guy, is a chronic jaywalker, right? He loves jaywalking and he has a reputation for being a jaywalker, I can call him a bank robber because, he's already a jaywalker. No, you can't. Those are two different things. Jaywalking is a ticket. A bank robber is 20 years in jail. You have to measure your words. You can't say lies about people, right? And laws are different now in every country. Most countries don't have the liberties that we have here in the U.S. In the U.S., we can get away with a lot more because the laws we have regarding freedom of speech, the right we have of freedom of speech. But it's not unlimited. You can't go in there and say things with malice that are going to affect a person's employment. Right? Now, there's a lot of clowns on the internet, guys, doing far more worse things. But the thing is that they don't have anything worth suing. And the person that they're talking about already has... a lot of times they don't even have a job. Right? So if they're talking about lolcows like, I don't know, like Cyrax, or some other losers out there, nobody cares. They're not going to lose a job opportunity because somebody called them, whatever, or somebody accused them of whatever. But when it comes to doxing, for example, those are different things in different states. Like I think California, it's 30,000. I think it's where it starts. That's the last law that they passed. Like that's that's the fine, right? That you pay for doxing. Then nobody even has to take you to court. They could just report you for doxing, and then you get a $30,000 ticket. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. But more people are becoming more aware because this result is so devastating. When you talk about the money, right? You say, okay, it's over $1 million Australian that Carl Jobs is going to spend. That is life-changing money. Even the money that Billy's receiving, it would be about 220,000. Just about, don't quote me on that, but that's still a lot of money. If you were to wake up tomorrow and your account was up by $220,000, I think that would be a pretty good day for anybody. It'd be like winning one of those scratcher tickets that have a bunch of money, or winning a small lotto prize. It's still a large chunk of change. It still makes a huge difference in people's lives. right? And if all of a sudden you woke up tomorrow and had, $220,000 worth of debt, you wouldn't be in a good position in life unless you're already a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? And most people on YouTube trying to look for, fame and being relevant and all that stuff don't have that kind of money. It's a very few minute percentage on YouTube that are able to create that kind of wealth, that can take that kind of hit for saying idiotic things on the internet. Look at Coffeezilla. Coffeezilla is probably one of the best creators out there, but he's up to his knees in caca right now. Why? Because he didn't have the right insurance, right? He's got to pay for it himself. And the court of public opinion can be great. Oh, he's winning, he's doing this, he's doing that, and everybody's cheering for him. But again, it doesn't mean a hill of beans until they get to court. It doesn't. Look at what happened with Carl Jobs. Everybody, all the YouTubers in the world, he had everybody in his corner. Every single person said he's going to win. And where is he at now? He's on the floor. He's over here, crying on his Discord for people to stop posting Billy tweets. He's pretty sour, who wouldn't be? If you owe $220,000 and people keep posting the name of the guy that you have to pay it to, you got to write that check. You'd be in your feelings too, probably. You shouldn't get to that point, but that's where we're at now. And now you have creators saying, I'm going to sue. Right? You just had Mama Max say it to Mudahar. Mudahar saying it to another guy. Gerard said it to Mudahar and to Carl Jobs. Where's it going to end? And you know what, guys? This is what I predict, that these lawsuits are going to be treated as content. So now, as part of your YouTube personality, you're going to have the lawsuit, which will encourage other people to file these type of lawsuits. I'm telling you, the game has changed. Can Gerard revive his career? Sure. Who wouldn't? Honestly, even if you hate Gerard, you wouldn't tell me that you didn't watch those videos if he started posting up how he's getting ready for trial, how he's going to take both these guys to court. His channel would blow up. That's all we'd be talking about. Somebody's going to figure it out. Right? Somebody's going to figure it out, and they're going to go that route, and then we're going to be talking about these things. It's good for us that we like this kind of entertainment. But, at the end of the day, you have to be responsible with your words. If you're a larger creator, you have to treat your YouTube channel as a business. This is a hobby for us. This is what we do while we're sitting in traffic or what have you. My channel's not going to ever have that kind of reach because, YouTube is a young person's game, right? We're part of the old man cringe community here. We make no bones about it. But even if you're up and coming, it's almost like you're going to have a team, right, of professionals guiding you through a business. Because once you're making enough money on YouTube, guys, once you're making, what you would make in a small business, you really should treat it as a business. Because if you're making that much money and you're saying things that are out of pocket or borderline illegal or illegal in the country that you live in, and somebody has enough money, they will come after you and your money. They're not only after you because they don't like you, they're coming after your cash. And don't tell me that you would not feel good if you woke up tomorrow and found $220,000 large in your bank account. You would love it. And they'd get reimbursed for all your legal expenses. It would be a really good day for you. It really would. And then you'd be on the internet like Billy Mitchell asking who we suing next. You can use Creamy Calls, guys, to help get justice for Todd Rogers, right? And have fun on the internet watching other people cry over your victory. All right, humans, I will catch you on the next one. Take care.